Hey guys, what's going on? This is Travis again for the Scott Carpenter Sasquatch Awareness Project channel. All right, so we are reading the Sasquatch Awareness Project, and if you didn't hit up last week's video, we were talking about Mike the Rancher, his saga, things going on. If you didn't or you missed that episode, go check it out. It was really, really interesting. So right now we're going to start back on the emails and do it. The last email response was Dad talking about them being sincere. It was just time to talk because shots had been fired, things of that nature had happened. Some wild, wild stuff. So with that said, let's get into it. All right, so we're reading emails. We're going to start back on February 4th, 2020. Mike reaches out via email. Scott, it's apparent to me that you have far more knowledge about these creatures than I do. Last night, one of them was walking about 40 feet from the back porch, and we could hear them talking. It's not a single understandable word to me, but we could clearly hear some type of language. I'm literally mind blown as to what they are saying. Dad's response. They have their own language and can speak English. They also will speak a mixture of other languages depending on what part of the country they live in. Have you figured out how many are in this clan? By the sounds of it, it's a large family group. How are things? Any better? Scott. February 5th, 2020, Mike sent the following email. Can we speak on something truly strange going on? Since I went public with this matter, I've had 20 to 30 drone encounters on my ranch, flying all over the place. I recently shot one down, only to be contacted minutes later warning me that if I were to do it again, and I quote, we will make sure you don't again. Man, this stuff is getting out of hand. I can't imagine where the drones are from other than its government aerial surveillance. Am I thinking too deep into this, or have you heard of this activity before? I responded, Mike, this could be some agencies of the federal government, or it could be some group of researchers poaching your land. What kind of drone was it as far as sophisticated and cost? How did they warn you? Call you from the come to the ranch? The BFRO comes to mind, but others are looking to kill Sasquatch to prove it exists, and they can be ruthless. I would call the police about the drones and see what they say. If it is military or other government agency, their reaction will let you know. This is what happens sometimes when you go public with such an aggressive group of Sasquatch. Groups that have financial interest in obtaining a body will try to sneak in, get a shot at one. That is how people go missing. Glad to hear they have calmed down. I don't know what the triangles mean. These most likely are gifts to you, a type of exchange or marking areas of interest, like where the food is. Sometimes it is better to let them have a little so they won't take a lot. You're not voluntarily feeding them or have in the past, so they know they are stealing from you, but just feel morally superior. They are extremely narcissistic, even with each other, constantly arguing and skirmishing over food between each other. So it's like having a bunch of 3-year-olds that are 10 feet tall and weigh 800 pounds with no impulse control. I did not attempt to stop them from stealing dog food, since at the time I was trying to study them. But when they became a nuisance, I had to pray over my property to keep them away. Unfortunately, this group is not responding to prayer as others have in the past. Have you put any trail cameras back up or motion sensor lights? Just wondering if they try to take them out, if you set them in configuration. I suggest. Talk later, Scott. Mike responded. The warning was a message left on our landline. I have called the sheriff's department and I was told no idea and quickly brushed away. If this is some BFRO type of poacher, they will be warned. I will stand at nothing to protect my family and my ranch. Trespassing will be dealt with. It seems like they tend to only do things when I'm gone or very late at night. They have slowed down on tearing stuff up around the house and barn, but we continue to have issues with feed and eggs, and now lately we are finding bones left in small piles and triangle shapes. Bones were never left around here, the house and the barn, mostly from my best guess would be deer. There were 3 elk horn sheds placed in the barn door in a triangle shape. Do you have any idea what this means? I have since stopped locking the feed shed up. I was tired of the door being broken apart, and now I am only missing an average of 20 pounds of grain and molasses every day. I believe there are 5 of them there. I've found sets of tracks at different locations here that all measure differently. The biggest is 21 inches, the smallest is 14.5 inches. After this conversation via email, we lost contact until I hear Mike interviewed on a YouTube show where he relates his ongoings and experiences with the Sasquatch. Then on May 25th, 2020, I received the following email from Mike. Since I've spoken publicly about what's going on at our ranch, we have had many issues with several within the so-called Bigfoot community. I've had trespassing issues with them, threats, and even demands to allow further investigation into the issues we have been having, to the point I've faced off with a couple where I've had to go in armed and ready. I've had helicopters flying very low around the hunters' cabins. My gates have been torn apart, locks cut, fence cut. It's been absolutely non-stop. I've even been contacted by the BFRO in Colorado. I'm not sure how they figured out who I am, but they have. Sadly, we can't bring honest light to this subject without being harassed and threatened by some of these sorry you-know-whats. Thanks for your help in the past. We are still having issues, but it has settled down somewhat. Guys, what do you think about all this? This is so wild reading and listening to this that it's not that you have some in the community, at least according to Dad and to this, that are just being, it's just very, very interesting to me. I'm reading this and just taken aback sometimes. Let me read a little bit more. On April 4th, 2021, I received the following email from Mike. Scott, it's been a while since I've reached out to you on this subject. During the dead of winter, there's minimal activity here at the ranch in regards to the Sasquatch. I've put many hours of thought into this. Why do they not respond to prayer here? Why do they seem to move out of this area during the snowiest months? Why is the activity so sporadic when they are in this area? Well, here we are starting spring in the high country. Calving has been in full swing. Repairs from winter grass are underway. And suddenly, activity has once again started. I've put many prayer symbols around the property only to have them either vanish or be destroyed. I've had 6 calves in the last week simply vanish. No kill signs, no body parts laying around as typical predator kills. Not one simple sign of anything. My full-time ranch hand recently found a calf dead in the V of a very large pine tree, about 14 foot 8 inches off the ground. That's big. 14 foot 8 inches. That's up there. I went to check out the area. Once he returned with the news, there were no lower branches below 9 foot, and there were no drag marks in the soft soil. There were no drag marks on the calf either. Anytime an animal is dragged off, there's always signs of that in the hide where the hair has been rubbed off from being drugged. If you've ever drug a deer, you're going to you're going to leave those signs of that. That's absolutely true. All 4 legs were broken, and the neck was also broken. Nothing was eaten off the calf. There were 0 bite marks, no bullet holes, not a single thing that would indicate a predator kill. If what you believe is correct about these beings, then why do they need to eat? Why do they follow the seasons like other big game? If these beings are a spiritual realm being, then what's the need for a normal hunter-gatherer type of life? Wouldn't the Nephilim be a spirit and not a surviving being? Please, Scott, I have to understand this more in order to bring either a truce, so to say, or in the case that can't happen, I must defend our ranch against them. I'm open to any suggestions you may have. I've tried the prayer suggestions, and there was absolutely no change in their behavior. They continue to tear up my spike camp cabins. They continue to destroy these feed and chickens. They are now killing and taking calves. This has got to stop one way or another. Be it some type of mutual understanding by force. I'm at my wits' ends with these beings. Thank you, sir. God bless you and your family. All right. Let's leave it at that. Again, we're trying to figure this out. Mike the Rancher now has government or BFRO things happening. Has asked some great questions. The question of, if these are spiritual beings, why do they follow the seasons? Why do they need to eat? Why do these things, keep happening? They act like predators. How in the world, if it wasn't a Sasquatch, did a calf get 14 feet in the air? What killed this thing? Such crazy, it would seem, things. Now, what are your thoughts on this? Do you think that this is all happenstance? Do you think that there is some military stuff? Do you think it's just some other Bigfoot groups doing that? What do you think happened at the ranch with Mike the Rancher? I want to hear what your thoughts are. I absolutely love this stuff. Thank you guys so much for being here. Mike the Rancher, you commented last time. My email is tcarp1616. Please email me. I would love to talk to you. This is fascinating work. I hope everything's going well on your ranch. Thank you for being Dad's friend. Thank you for letting Dad hopefully help you. So we're going to read more. And guys, I love you. Thank you so much. This is Tcarp signing out for the Sasquatch Awareness Project. God bless.